There comes a point in life when you realize that distraction is the enemy of your destiny. You can have all the talent, the opportunities, and the resources in the world. But if your focus is scattered, your energy is divided, and your attention is hijacked by every little thing that comes your way, you will miss the greatness you were created for. But when you lock in, when you set your mind like flint, when you make a decision that nothing and no one will pull you away from your purpose, suddenly you tap into a power that feels unstoppable. Doors open. Opportunities find you. Your steps are ordered and your progress becomes undeniable. It's time to live with that kind of focus. Not the kind that depends on perfect conditions, but the kind that stays strong through storms, detours, and delays. You weren't created to live distracted. You were created to run with purpose, to aim at your target. Focus is not just about how hard you work. It's about how clear your mind is. You can't hit a target if your vision is blurred. And you can't build an unstoppable life if your thoughts are scattered in 100 different directions. The truth is, the mind is the command center of your destiny. What you allow in will eventually come out in your actions, your decisions, and your results. If you're serious about becoming unstoppable, you must make a firm decision to guard your mind from distractions. Every day, we live in an environment that constantly competes for our attention. Social media, news updates, gossip, negativity, opinions, and endless notification. These things are not harmless. They are tiny thieves. On their own, they may seem small, but added together, they can pull you so far off course that you wake up one day wondering why you're not where you thought you'd be. Protecting your mind means you are intentional about what you feed it. Just like your body needs healthy food to stay strong, your mind needs healthy input to stay sharp. Some people let anyone and anything speak into their life. They don't filter the conversations they have, the shows they watch, or the posts they scroll through. As a result, their thoughts are a mixture of hope and fear, vision and doubt, clarity and confusion. No wonder they can't focus. They've allowed too many conflicting voices to live in their head rent-free. If you want unstoppable focus, you have to do some mental housekeeping. Start asking yourself, does this thought strengthen me or weaken me? Does this voice push me toward my purpose or pull me away from it? If it's not building you, it's breaking. Protecting your mind doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you refuse to dwell on anything that doesn't serve your calling. It's not denial, it's discipline. For example, you might get bad news, face a problem, or deal with criticism. Those things will come, but you don't have to meditate on them day and night. You can choose to focus on solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. You can decide to let faith have the final word in your thinking, not fear. One of the biggest distractions is comparison. It's easy to look around and measure your progress against someone else's highlight reel. But comparison doesn't inspire. It drains. When you constantly compare, you start doubting yourself, second-guessing your path, and losing sight of your unique race. Protecting your mind means reminding yourself daily that your journey is yours alone. You have your own pace, your own timing, and your own destiny. If you're always looking sideways, you'll trip over what's right in front of you. Another subtle distraction is offense. You might not realize it, but holding on to bitterness, grudges, or resentment takes up enormous mental space. You replay what happened, what they said, how unfair it was. And in the process, you'll focus solely. Protecting your mind means refusing to give offense that kind of power. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It's saying, I value my peace more than I value my right to be angry. When you release offense, you reclaim mental energy you didn't even know you were losing. Sometimes distraction doesn't come from outside voices, but from the noise inside your own head. Your fears, your doubts, your what-ifs can be louder than anything around you. That's why protecting your mind also means learning to talk to yourself instead of just listening to yourself. When fear says you can't do it, you answer, I am equipped, I am capable, and I am called. When doubt says, you're wasting your time, you respond, I'm sowing seeds for my future, and in due season I will reap a harvest. You can't stop thoughts from knocking at your door, but you can refuse to let them come in and make themselves at home. If you want to strengthen your mental focus, you have to make room for silence, reflection, and renewal. We live in such a noisy world that we forget the power of stillness. Take time each day to disconnect from the noise, even if it's just for a few minutes. Use that time to think, to pray, to plan, to dream. That's when ideas come, clarity returns, and your determination grows. Protecting your mind isn't just about avoiding the negative. It's also about making space for the positive to take root. The reality is, you can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control what you meditate on. You may not be able to stop every distraction from showing up, but you can choose whether or not you give it your attention. Currents, you can spend it on things that build your future, or you can waste it on things that drain your strength. Protecting your mind means you invest your attention in what matters most. So decide today, your mind is valuable real estate, and you're not going to lease it out to worry, comparison, negativity, or offense. You're going to fill it with faith, clarity, gratitude, and vision. When your mind is focused, your life will be focused. And when your life is focused, you will feel unstoppable. Not because you'll never face challenges, but because nothing will be able to pull you away from your purpose. One of the greatest threats to your focus is the temptation to fight every single battle that comes your way. Some battles are worth your energy because they're connected to your destiny. But many others are nothing more than distractions, cleverly disguised to drain your strength, waste your time, pull you away from your real assignment. If you want to live with unstoppable focus, you have to learn the discipline of discernment, knowing which fights are worth engaging in and which ones are best left alone. Not every comment needs a reply. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Not every misunderstanding needs to be cleared up. The truth is, the more energy you waste defending yourself, the less you have left to move forward. Life will present you with countless opportunities to get pulled into arguments, debates, and petty issues. But you have to ask yourself, will this matter to my future? Will this affect my destiny? Will this battle lead to progress, or will it only lead to exhaustion? When you look at your life as a limited resource, you begin to treat your time, energy, and focus like treasures you cannot afford to squander. Think of it this way. Every time you engage in an unimportant fight, you're paying a price. You're spending emotional energy that could have been invested in your growth. You're using mental strength that could have been directed toward your vision. And most dangerously, you're giving a distraction the very thing it was designed to take from you, your attention. There's a story of a man walking down the road with a heavy load to carry. Along the way, he saw people throwing little stones at him, shouting at him to stop and respond. But the man kept walking. Someone asked him later, why didn't you stop to throw the stones back? He replied, stop to throw a stone at every dog that barked, I would never reach my destination. The lesson is simple. When you're on a mission, you can't afford to stop for every distraction. Choosing your battles wisely also means knowing the difference between a challenge that grows you and a distraction that stalls you. Some battles are necessary. They stretch your faith, sharpen your skills, and build your character. but others are simply traps to keep you circling the same mountain over and over. If you keep fighting battles that don't matter, you'll never have the strength for the ones that do. Another way we waste focus, by trying to fix people who don't want to change. You may have someone in your life who constantly pulls you into drama. Every time they have a problem, they expect you to drop everything and rescue them. You pour in your energy, give your advice, offer your help, but nothing changes. That's because some battles belong to other people, not you. You can't fight someone else's fight for them. You can love them, support them, and pray for them, but you can't spend your entire life fighting their battles while yours go unattended. This is not about being cold or uncaring. It's about being a good steward of your purpose. If you keep pouring into people who refuse to change, you'll have nothing left for the assignments that truly matter. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step back and let them learn their own lesson. When you do, you protect your focus and allow them the space to grow. You also need to be careful with battles of ego. Some fights are not about right and wrong. They're about proving a point. Your pride gets challenged, and suddenly you're pulled into a struggle that has nothing to do with your destiny. You might win the argument, but lose your peace. You might prove your point, but lose your joy. Wise people know that not every insult requires an answer, and not every provocation demands a reaction. Sometimes the best victory is walking away. When you resist the urge to fight every battle, you position yourself to win the battles that really count. This is what champions do. They stay laser focused on the end goal. They don't waste their energy on side issues. They know that life is a long race, and they can't afford to burn out on the wrong fights. The more focused you become, the more battles you'll be tempted to fight. This is because distractions often show up as urgent but unimportant situations. They feel like emergencies, but in reality, they have no lasting impact on your purpose. That's why you need to pause and evaluate before engaging. Ask yourself, will winning this battle bring me closer to my vision, or will it only give me a momentary sense of satisfaction? If the answer is the latter, it's not worth it. Choosing your battles wisely is a sign of maturity. It shows that you value your destiny too much to waste it on detours. It means you're more concerned with progress than with applause, more interested in purpose than in proving yourself. When you let go of unnecessary battles, you discover a new level of freedom. You don't feel weighed down by every opinion, every criticism, or every invitation to conflict. You become lighter, more focused and more determined. You start to see momentum building in your life because all your strength is going in one direction, forward. Remember, your time is precious. Your energy is valuable. Your focus is a gift. Don't spend it on battles that don't belong to you. Stay locked in on what matters most, and you'll find that the fewer fights you pick, the more victories you'll win. If you want to feel unstoppable, you must have a vision so clear that it becomes the compass for every decision you make. You can't run towards something you can't see. Without vision, you drift. Without vision, you get easily distracted because you don't have a clear yes to measure your no against. But when your vision is sharp and specific, every step you take moves you closer to your destination. Vision is not just a dream or a wish. It's a picture of your future that is so alive inside you, it shapes your present. It's the ability to see what doesn't yet exist and to believe in it so strongly that you order your life around it. The moment you commit to a clear vision, you set your life on a path that is intentional and purposeful. Many people miss their full potential because they have a vague idea of what they want, but not a specific picture. They say, So I want to be successful or I want to be happy. But those statements are too broad to guide daily decisions. What does success look like for you? What would happiness actually include in your life? The more precise your vision, the easier it becomes to align your choices with it. When you know exactly where you're headed, it becomes much easier to filter out distractions. If someone offers you an opportunity that looks good but doesn't fit your vision, you can say no without hesitation. If a challenge comes your way that has nothing to do with your calling, you can let it pass without guilt. Your clear vision becomes a map. It tells you which roads to take and which roads to avoid. A clear vision also gives you endurance. When obstacles show up, you won't be so quick to quit because you know what you're working toward. You won't let temporary setbacks make you lose sight of your permanent destination. People without vision often get discouraged because they can't see beyond the moment. But when you have a mental picture of where you're going, you can push through the moment because you know it's just part of the journey. Committing to a clear vision means making it more than a passing thought. It means writing it down. It means speaking it over yourself regularly. It means praying over it, planning for it, and taking consistent steps toward it. You don't just hope it happens. You prepare for it as if it's already on the way. That kind of preparation sends a message to your own mind. This is real. This is happening. This is my future. When your vision is clear, your energy becomes focused. Instead of scattering your efforts across many random activities, you direct your strength toward the few things that actually move the needle. You stop chasing every shiny opportunity, and you start building on the opportunities that align with your calling. This is how unstoppable momentum is created. Not by doing everything, but by doing the right things consistently. Sometimes having a clear vision will require you to make hard choices. You may have to let go of things you enjoy, but that don't fit where you're going. You may have to distance yourself from certain relationships that pull you in the wrong direction. You may have to say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to the great ones. That's the price of clarity. It demands discipline. But the reward is worth it because clarity leads to power. Your vision should be personal to you. Don't borrow someone else's dream just because it looks impressive. Don't chase what's popular. Chase what's purposeful. A vision that comes from deep within you will sustain you when things get tough. But a vision that's based on someone else's life will crumble the moment things get hard. It's also important to revisit your vision regularly. Life changes, seasons shift, and sometimes God will expand or refine your vision. Stay flexible to adjustments, but stay firm in your commitment to move forward. Even if the details shift, the core of your vision, the why behind it, should remain solid. If your vision is truly clear, it will pull you forward even on the days you don't feel like moving. It will become a source of motivation when your emotions run low. If your surroundings are chaotic, it's harder to stay focused. But if you create an environment that supports your goals, focus becomes easier. This might mean keeping your workspace organized, surrounding yourself with reminders of your vision, or spending time with people who inspire and encourage you. Habits also protect you in difficult seasons. There will be days when you don't feel strong, when challenges seem bigger than your faith, when distractions seem louder than your purpose. In those moments, habits act like autopilot. They keep you moving forward, even when your emotions are telling you to stop. You don't have to feel like doing it. You just have to follow the routine you've built. If you're trying to build new habits, start small. Many people fail because they try to change too much at once. Focus on 1 or 2 simple actions that align with your vision and commit to doing them daily. Over time, these small steps will become second nature, and you can build them. Consistency beats intensity every time. One of the most overlooked habits is rest. In a culture that glorifies busyness, it's easy to think that non-stop work is the key to success. But rest is not a distraction. It's a strategy. When you rest, you recharge your mind, renew your energy, and restore your perspective. Even the most driven people know that focus requires balance. Without rest, you burn out. With rest, you stay strong for the long haul. Feeding your focus is about building a life that naturally points you toward your goals. It's about setting up systems that make success easier and distraction hard. It's about replacing unhelpful patterns with ones that support your vision. The truth is, your future is hidden in your daily habits. If your habits match your vision, your progress will be unstoppable. If they don't, no amount of willpower can make up for it. That's why now is the time to examine your routines, adjust what's holding you back, and double down on what's pushing you forward. When your habits are aligned with your vision, you don't have to force focus. It becomes who you are. Every day, you're building momentum. Every day, you're feeding the fire. And before long, you'll look back and realize that what once felt like effort now feels like your natural rhythm. That's when you truly become unstoppable. The moment you decide to live with focus, the moment you commit to your vision, you can expect opposition to show up. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's often a sign that you're doing something right. Resistance is proof that you're moving forward. The higher you climb, the stronger the wind will blow. If you want to feel unstoppable, you must make a decision before the battle ever begins. I will not quit. Life has a way of testing our commitment. You start strong, full of energy and excitement. But then challenges come. Plans get delayed. People misunderstand you. Doors you thought would open stay closed. That's the moment where many people give up. Not because they didn't have the talent, not because they didn't have the opportunity, but because they didn't have the endurance to keep going. Refusing to quit means you've made peace with the fact that the road to your destiny won't always be smooth. You will have to walk through seasons of uncertainty. You will face moments where the temptation to stop feels overwhelming. But if you only move forward when it's easy, you'll never get to where you're meant to be. The real test of focus is how you handle the hard days. Opposition comes in many forms. Sometimes it's external criticism, rejection, lack of support. Other times it's internal fear. The external can be frustrating, but the internal can be even more dangerous because it's your own voice telling you to stop. That's why you must make an unshakable decision that no matter what rises against you, quitting is not an option. Think about how many people quit right before their breakthrough. The difficulty they were facing wasn't the end. It was the final stretch before the reward. The enemy knows he can't take your destiny from you, but if he can convince you to give up on it, he wins without a fight. That's why you have to tell yourself daily, I may get tired, but I'm not stopping. I may feel discouraged, but I'm not quitting. I may have to adjust my steps, but I will keep walking forward. When you refuse to quit, you start seeing opposition differently. Instead of viewing it as a signal to stop, you see it as confirmation that you're advancing. No one throws stones at a tree with no fruit. The very fact that you're facing resistance means you have something valuable inside of you. If you were no threat to the enemy, he wouldn't bother with you. Refusing to quit doesn't mean you never feel like quitting. It means you've trained yourself to keep going, even when you feel like it. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is permanent. There will be days when your emotions try to convince you that it's not worth it, that you're wasting your time, that it's too hard. On those days, you lean on discipline, faith, and the vision that started you on this journey in the first place. One of the greatest strengths you can develop is the ability to persevere under pressure. Diamonds are formed under pressure, muscles grow under resistance, and character is built in the fire of challenge. The very opposition that tries to stop you can actually make you stronger if you refuse to back down. Sometimes refusing to quit means learning how to rest without quitting. There's nothing wrong with taking a break to recover. Even the strongest runners pause for water during a marathon. Resting is not quitting, it's preparation for the next push forward. Just make sure that when you rest with the intention of returning stronger. You also have to guard against quitting mentally before you quit physically. Some people keep going through the motion, but in their mind, they've already given up. They've stopped believing it will happen for them. They've stopped expecting a breakthrough. If you want to be unstoppable, your belief has to stay alive even when results are delayed. Your mind must stay locked on the finish line, even when the road feels endless. One way to strengthen your refusal to quit is to remember why you started. Go back to the moment when the vision was fresh, when you felt the fire in your heart, when you knew deep down you were meant to do this. Opposition can make you forget that initial passion, but revisiting your why can reignite it. Another is to surround yourself with people who speak life into you. You can't keep your focus if you're constantly surrounded by voices telling you to give up. Find of your strength, who believe in your calling, and who will stand with you when the pressure is on. Refusing to quit isn't just about reaching your goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who can't be stopped. Every time you push through opposition, you strengthen the part of you that says, no matter what comes, I will not be moved. And when you live with that kind of determination, you not only reach your destination, you inspire others to keep going too. So decide now, before the next challenge comes, that you will stay the course. You will face the storms. You will outlast the opposition. You will refuse to quit. And when you do, you'll look back and realize that the very things that tried to break you only built you into someone who truly feels unstoppable. True focus is more than mental strength, more than willpower, more than self-discipline. Those are important, but they can only take you so far. To become truly unstoppable, you need an anchor, something deeper than motivation, something stronger than determination. Something that keeps you steady when everything around you feels like it's shifting. That anchor is your spiritual foundation. Life will test your focus in ways you never saw coming. There will be seasons when the storm is fierce, when the road feels lonely, when nothing seems to be moving forward. In moments like that, if you're only relying on your own strength, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, discouraged, and ready to give up. But when you are spiritually anchored, you have a source of power that never runs dry. You draw from something bigger than yourself, and that connection gives you peace in chaos, clarity in confusion, and strength in weakness. Being spiritually anchored means taking time to center your life around your faith and values. It means making space for prayer, reflection, or whatever practice connects you to the one who guides your steps. It's choosing to start your day not by scrolling through the noise of the world, but by aligning your heart with truth, peace, and purpose. When you do that, you're not just preparing for the day, you're equipping yourself for the battles ahead. A spiritually anchored person doesn't change. They've learned that storms are temporary, but the anchor holds. You may be tossed by strong winds, but you won't drift aimlessly because your soul is tied to something solid. That's why some people can face the same challenges others face and still move forward. They're not relying solely on what they see. They're holding on to what they believe. When your focus is anchored in faith, distractions lose some of their power. You no longer chase every urgent thing that demands your attention because you've already committed yourself to the most important thing. You're not easily swayed by criticism because you know your worth doesn't come from people's opinions. You're not shaken by delays because you trust that timing is part of the process. Being spiritually anchored also keeps your heart soft in a world that can easily harden it. Opposition, disappointment, and betrayal can make you bitter if you're not careful. But when you stay connected to your spiritual source, you're reminded to forgive quickly, to love freely, to keep your perspective eternal. That allows you to keep moving forward without the extra weight of resentment or offense slowing you down. This anchoring is not just for the hard time, it's for the good times too. Success can be just as dangerous as failure if it makes you forget where your strength comes from. Staying spiritually grounded keeps you humble when things are going well and hopeful when they're not. It reminds you that your achievements are not just the result of your effort, but also of the grace, favor, and opportunities you've been given along the way. It's easy to think that focus is only about eliminating distractions and setting goals. But the truth is, the deepest focus comes from alignment. When your mind, heart, and spirit are in agreement, you move with a confidence that can't be shaken. You're not constantly questioning if you're on the right path because you've already confirmed it with your anchor. You're not thrown off course by every bump in the road because you know your steps are ordered. Sometimes staying spiritually anchored will mean slowing down. We live in a world that's obsessed with speed and productivity, but your spirit needs moments of stillness. Just like a ship in harbor takes time to secure its anchor before venturing into rough waters, you need moments to pause, reconnect, and refocus. Those quiet moments are where your strength is renewed, your vision is clarified, and your determination is reinforced. If you've ever felt like you were losing your focus, it might be because you've been running on empty spiritual. You've been pushing forward on your own energy, but your anchor hasn't been set. The good news is you can reset today. You can decide right now to make your spiritual health a priority. You can create daily habits that connect you back to the source of your peace and strength. When you stay spiritually anchored, you're not just reacting to life. You're living from a place of stability and purpose. The storms may still come, but they can't uproot you. Distractions may still try to lure you away, but you won't take the bait. Opposition may still rise against you, but you'll outlast it because your foundation is firm. In the end, focus without an anchor is fragile, but focus with a spiritual anchor is unshakable. It's what allows you to keep moving forward when others turn back. It's what keeps your vision alive when circumstances tell you to give up. It's what makes you unstoppable. Not because you'll never face challenges, but because no challenge will be able to pull you away from your purpose. So set your anchor deep. Connect your focus to something eternal. Let your faith the lens through which you see every challenge, every opportunity, and every decision. When you do, you won't just be moving. You'll be moving with strength, clarity, and a confidence that no storm can shake. That's the power of being spiritually anchored. We've talked about 6 powerful keys that will take your focus to a level where nothing can stop you. From knowing your why to guarding your time, from mastering your emotions to surrounding yourself with the right people, from embracing challenges to staying spiritually anchored. Each of these is more than a principle. It's a decision you make every single day. Life will try to pull you in 1,000 different directions. Distractions will fight for your attention. Setbacks will try to steal your confidence, and voices around you will try to talk you out of your dream. But the truth is, you are not here by accident. There is a purpose over your life that is worth protecting. Your focus is the steering wheel that will take you there. And if you keep it locked on your calling, no detour can keep you from your destination. You may not see the results yet, but don't confuse delay with denial. Every moment you stay committed, every time you refuse to give in to fear, every time you push through when it would be easier to quit, you are getting closer. The seeds you're planting in discipline, consistency, and faith will grow in due season. So decide today, you're not going to live distracted. Plus tuck, you're not going to waste your energy on things that don't. You're not going to let storms or setbacks shake you off course. You're going to stay focused on the vision, anchored in your faith, confident that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. When you hold on to these keys, you won't just survive life. You'll thrive in it. You'll walk with a quiet confidence that no matter what comes your way, you have what it takes to make it through. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that every choice to stay focused was worth it because it led you right into the life you were created to live. So go out there, keep your eyes on the goal, your heart full of faith, and your spirit unshakable. Your best days are still in front of you. And if you stay focused, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you from getting there.